His name is Kim Suho. But in this world, he is Lloyd Frontera. And this is a story about an average civil engineering student who will change the world. He will turn everything into money. A few years ago, in a small village, a floating window pops up and informs him that he has been selected by the Supreme Being to become one of the characters in the novel Night of Blood and Iron. So good luck! He finally understood that this was like a story in a novel where he possessed someone from a different world. But he was wondering why he woke up with his face on the ground. He tried to stand up, but he felt so cold, and his mouth felt weird. Even the system informs him about his mouth and laughs at him. He started getting mad and smacked the floating window, and start thinking about who he has become in this novel. Suddenly someone called him Master Lloyd from behind. It was Javier Azraham who was the protagonist of this novel. Javier was looking for him to bring him back to his manor. He remembered that Javier is a renowned swordsman, but started off as an unknown knight working for the country lord, Arcos Frontera. Suddenly he realized that he has become the hooligan, Lloyd Frontera. Javier feels weird that Lloyd has been talking to himself suddenly. He even told him that he called him by his name, but never called him a hooligan. Javier started to smirk and make fun of him. After that, Javier brings Lloyd back to his room in the manor. While Javier was explaining how Lloyd ended up like that, Lloyd was under a blanket shivering because of the cold weather. When Javier was about to leave, Lloyd asked him about his family's debt. And Javier just said, "What a strange thing to say." He already knows everything in this story, because he just finished the last chapter of it before he came to this world. He recalls what happens to his family in this world. Part 1. His parents will becomes a prey to an evil conman, loses everything and commits suicide. Then Lloyd will become a beggar, drinking all day until he coughs up blood and dies. What a point for him to be in this world, where it was the same miserable life as in Korea. He remembered that someone named Absolute was responsible for his being put in the body of someone with such a bad ending. In the morning, his mother, whose name is Marbella Frontera, told him to apologize to the owner of the pub for what he had done. Lloyd told them he will apologize to him. Lloyd's mother and Javier were surprised by his response. They start walking to the pub. While in the village, all the villagers are avoiding him. Even the children were told to avoid eye contact with him. The floating window shows him that all of the villagers hate him. Lloyd asks Javier why he's following him, and Javier tells him that it was his father's order to protect a villager from Lloyd. Is Lloyd a gangster? Lloyd thinks that he must build his reputation with the villagers and settle his family debt so he can live peacefully as the heir of his family. Lloyd was checking the floating window to see if he got any cheats or useful skills, but he only got trash skills like human scum and rowdy drunkard. He was getting mad at the floating window while he was walking. Javier informs him that he just passed the pub, and he might have forgotten his promise to apologize to the pub owner. Javier thinks something is off with Lloyd while entering the pub. The pub's condition looks so bad. Lloyd apologizes to the pub owner for what he has done. The pub owner was confused and terrified by Lloyd's sudden politeness. Lloyd kept apologizing to him while making his gangster face, and got forgiveness from the pub owner. After they leave the pub, Lloyd is not happy with the forgiveness given by the pub owner because he doesn't seem happy at all. Javier already expects that to happen because Lloyd just destroyed the furniture and decorations of the pub that the owner worked hard to earn, and he won't be satisfied until he is compensated. Lloyd can't pay the pub owner because his family is still in debt. Javier even said that the pub owner's mother was still sick because of the winter cold. Lloyd remembered that the pub was rather chilly because it only had one fireplace to heat the entire building. He just got an idea to fix this situation that the true Lloyd never thought of, because he is Kim Suho. With his major in civil engineering, his experience in house construction in the military, and working day and night at the construction site, he can settle the Baron's debts. Lloyd told Javier to follow him back to the pub, to get his first order to build a self-heating room in this world. The floating window has appeared again, announcing that his journey has begun and that he can gain reputation points by improving relationships with key characters. Lloyd was shocked by that news and thought about it while walking. Lloyd looked at Javier and saw his approval rating. Javier's approval rating was super low. Lloyd is trying to improve his rating with Javier by saying that Javier is very good looking today. But Javier's approval rating just decreased by 1 point because he already knew he was good looking. Lloyd was so confused. He just left it for now. At the pub, Lloyd has prepared a contract for his plan to build a self-heating room for the pub owner. All construction fees will be against all the property he has damaged. Lloyd told the pub owner to sign the contract, but the pub owner just got suspicious of Lloyd. The pub owner even used his skill, Stonewall hard against Lloyd. Lloyd doesn't have a chance. He has to use his skills to convince the pub owner to sign the contract. The pub owner signs the contract right away. Lloyd has gotten his first order. He told the pub owner that he never let him down. After that, Lloyd went to the pub owner's house with his equipment to prepare for the construction. Javier asked Lloyd why he threatened the pub owner to sign the contract. Is he looking for trouble? Lloyd told Javier not to judge him by his past, and he promised to make the pub owner smile, because those smiles will be the foundation of his plan to gain money. He starts to build the room that was inspired by Asian construction methods. He's getting tired after 1 week of building it, because he has a weak body. Javier was surprised by the room that Lloyd has built. After that, Lloyd continued to finish the room by chopping the wood logs. He almost fell because of his tiredness, but Javier got him up. Javier even offered to help him finish the room. After seeing how fast Javier cuts the wood, Lloyd asked Javier to help him more with his work. Javier started to feel annoyed and regretted his decision. Lloyd convinced Javier to help him finish the job together to see the results. Javier doesn't have any choice but to help him. They continue to finish the construction together. The construction has been finished. Lloyd even put his logo on the building. Now it's time for them to see the results of their work. The pub owner and his mother tried the house that has been built by Lloyd and Javier. They were surprised and happy by its function. It's the power of the ondel floor. It's like magic. The pub owner thanked Lloyd for his work. Javier was surprised by the pub owner's happiness. He even noticed that Lloyd's speech and manners have changed. Lloyd has worked so hard and keeps his promise to others. Lloyd saw that Javier's approval rating had increased because of his actions. He even earned the relationship points. Lloyd makes fun of Javier because of his success. He doesn't regret his decision because the house he has built will become a model house to show others his great invention. A few days later, many villagers lined up to see a new house function and were impressed by it. Lloyd has prepared a table and a contract for anyone who is interested in his creations. He even prepared two designs for the house and offered a 10% discount if they wanted to buy both of them. But the villagers still don't trust him yet. Lloyd started to convince him to buy it. Suddenly, his father, Lloyd Frontera, appears to meet him. Lloyd saw his father's approval rating and worries about it. After that, Lloyd had a meeting with his father to discuss what had happened. Lloyd always avoided meeting with his father because he worried that his father would stop him from building. Lloyd's father asked him what his plans were this time. Lloyd told his father that he just built an ondel room that was ordered by the pub owner. His father told him that he couldn't lie to them or trick them because they were people that he must look after. Lloyd told his father not to worry about his actions. When Lloyd was about to leave, his father told him that he didn't have to worry about their debt and shouldn't get involved in this matter. Lloyd remembered those words from his previous life. And he knows what will happen next. He's not going to be miserable about money again in this life. He told his father not to give up because he won't either. Lloyd hoped he had said those words to his father in his previous life. In his room, he was thinking about his relationship point. The system of the floating window says that he can use his RP points to gain some abilities. The system started to scan his body to detect any ability. The system was surprised by his current ability. Lloyd has many skills because of his scholarship from his previous life. The system informs him that there are 2 skills that he can gain from his existing knowledge. He chooses 2 of them to test them out. The first skill is basic surveying. He can scan and see his surroundings without any GPS. And the second skill was basic design. He can scribble his plan in front of him without any equipment. Lloyd thinks that all of this new skill will make his plan easier, but it's not enough for Javier to cover all of the construction. It would be great if he could summon machinery with his knowledge. The system pops up and informs him that he can summon something with his RP. The random summon costs 50 RP for 1 turn. Lloyd can't summon anything because he only got 1 RP left. He starts to imagine summoning something like a dragon or a monster in this world. If he wants to summon anything like that, he needs to get more RP, and to do that, he needs key characters to like him. While walking in the hallway, Lloyd was thinking about the order that he got from the villager, and he came across 2 moneylenders named Meatloaf and Shiloh. They just walked past him without saying anything. The moneylender met Lloyd's father to collect the debts. With such bad manners, they said that Lloyd's father has passed the due dates of their agreement to pay his debts. They even suggested he sell some of the items in his house to get some money. When Lloyd heard the conversation between the moneylender and his father, he got an idea how to deal with them. The moneylender starts to get aggressive and suggests the Baron to sell his family. Lloyd's father was surprised and mad at him. Suddenly, Lloyd appeared behind the moneylender and greeted him. The moneylender was surprised and told Lloyd to leave. Lloyd interrupts them by asking them for a warrant for their visit. He even explained the laws that have been violated by them. The moneylender starts to deny their guilt by saying that they never heard of such a law. Lloyd called Javier and ordered him to cut the trespasser's arm. The moneylender starts getting scared and warns him that they will sue him. Lloyd doesn't even care about it. Javier started to draw his sword. They were surprised that Lloyd was serious about it. The moneylender ran away in fear and slammed the door. Lloyd's father was surprised by his son's action. He told Lloyd that he didn't have enough money to pay them. Lloyd gave his father a bag of money that he had collected from all of his customers to pay off their interest for this month. Lloyd's father worries that his son might got money by extorting people on his land. Javier convinced him that Lloyd would fulfill the orders that he had taken. Lloyd's father doesn't have any choice but to trust them. After leaving his father's room, while walking in the hallway, Javier asked Lloyd how he knew about such a law. Lloyd said that he just made it up. But it's all because he already knows what will happen in this novel. He was waiting for a system to pop up. The system pops up and informs him that his father's approval rating has increased and he earned 60 RP from that. It's all happened as he planned.